Chapter 1. Satan's Government versus Jesus' Government. In the Bible, we are shown how a government body led by Satan will be unleashed upon the world. We're also shown the following passage of great hope and victory. Isaiah 9, verse 6. For us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. This passage, of course, is talking about Jesus and a government that he will rule, which will overthrow, destroy, and reign victorious over the government of Satan. And not just in heaven, but right here on earth. To many people, this very simple biblical fact may sound unfamiliar, paradoxical, possibly even fabricated. Many churches do not teach the concept of a government established by Jesus on earth that will overthrow Satan's government and rule the people for 1,000 years. Yet in the Bible, in both the Old Testament and the New Testament, it discusses this government in very clear and inarguable terms. In fact, the Bible tells us how the government of Jesus will battle and completely demolish and disintegrate the government of Satan here on earth. Unfortunately, this demolition will not take place until after Satan's government is allowed to reign and wage war against all of God's people and wear them down. And not just wear them down once, but over and over and over again throughout history. Past, present, and future, until God gives the word and Jesus returns to earth to put an end to Satan and his evil, deceitful, demonic, and destructive government once and for all. And what poetic justice! The perfect plan. It was Satan's government that was present when Jesus walked on earth the first time. In fact, it was Satan's government that put Jesus to death. This second time, however, Jesus will return and defeat Satan's government and permanently destroy it. All of this information is told to us in the Bible. Satan's government will be completely decimated once and for all. It was clearly prophesied thousands of years ago, and it will come to pass in our lifetime before the end of the current generation. More likely than not, very soon. It's the ultimate victory over evil. It was Satan's government that tortured and slaughtered Christians throughout the ages. It was the same government that in Nazi Germany murdered 6 million Jews. And it's the very same government that is present today in the New World Order and in liberal and socialist governments throughout the world, including Trudeau's movement in Canada and the Democrat Party in the United States. And it is the party that Jesus will ultimately destroy when he returns. Now, it may seem arrogant and biased to single out an entire political party, i.e. the Democrats, and state that they belong and are practicing subjects of Satan's worldwide evil government. Many Democrats go to church. Many worship Jesus. Many believe in God. Many read the Bible. They may be strong believers in their own hearts, yet these are the people, the American Democrats, who are being led astray by their deceitful leadership. They're being lied to 24/7. And are blindly and faithfully believing and wandering after those lies. Because the Democratic Party leadership as a whole is truly satanic. It is the party that is biblically referred to as the beast in the book of Revelation. It is the party that brandishes and is identified by the number 666. Yet the Democrats themselves do not even know it. In fact, I would venture to say 100% of them do not know it, because if they did, many would jump parties in a heartbeat. Yet, alas, still many would stay because they love and outwardly worship Satan. Of course, all claims have to be substantiated, and that is exactly what the Bible does. Substantiate the truth over and over again, which is one of the main reasons the Bible is constantly under attack, especially by the party of Satan, the Democrats. The Bible exposes them all. It lays bare all the evil and hateful deeds and plans of the Democratic leadership. Recently, Donald Trump was indicted. Afterwards, paid operatives of the Democrat Party took to the social media platforms to antagonize and inflame the MAGA movement. One operative said, "Go ahead, MAGA. Go cry in your Bibles. Use the pages to wipe your tears. You don't read the thing anyway." Obviously, this reflects the party's hatred toward the Bible and every truth it reveals, especially the truths about the Democrats themselves. But there's also a twinge of substance in what he says about nobody reading the Bible. We read it, yet sometimes we rely too heavily on the Church's definition of it, and we don't study it with the focus it deserves or requires for deeper understanding. There are many reasons for this phenomenon, not the least of which is that it is a difficult read. It is not a book which can be read in a linear manner. It requires taking a little bit here, a little bit there, and building precept upon precept until a greater understanding is derived. Isaiah 28, verse 10. For it is precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. Here a little, there a little. This is how the Bible was meant to be read. Not front to back, but here a little, there a little, and precept upon precept. And when we do read it in this manner, we derive a great deal of understanding from it. Another reason we often underread the Bible is because, as mentioned, the churches themselves do very little in terms of analysis and building precept upon precept. Instead, they create sermons built upon random verses generated from the New Testament alone, or the books of Psalms or Proverbs. And they leave the entire rest of the book unexamined, and therefore dangling before us as a sort of great mystery. Yet, if we really study the Bible's contents, we can go back as far as the book of Genesis and actually see events like, for example, the creation of the United States and Great Britain right in front of our eyes in plain text. We can see the birth of the entire Western world and understand its deliberate division and continual conflict with the Middle East. We can understand why the Middle Eastern countries are always at war with their brothers. And if we venture a little further in the Old Testament, into the book of Daniel, for example, we can see the very creation of the Democrat Party and the entire satanic beast that is meant to trample down the whole earth. And if we begin to flip back and forth through the Bible, say from the book of Revelation to the book of Daniel, we can understand everything from 666 to the New World Order, to the involvement of both China and Russia, to the way in which Satan has given power to certain political movements. We can see it all. And most importantly, we can finally understand it all. There's a giant clash coming to mankind, a final battle between good and evil, an all-out war between Satan's government and the government of Jesus. As we speak, the armies are already being fortified. The battle lines are being drawn. People are choosing sides, both deliberately and mindlessly. Some people are seeking knowledge. Others are working double overtime to keep that knowledge away from people. Hosea 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, for they have rejected knowledge. However, in the end, the news is good. Jesus will return and will completely destroy the armies and government of Satan. He will lock Satan in a prison for 1,000 years, so he can no longer deceive the nations until the 1,000 years are ended. And then the world will be peaceful and prosperous, and we will thrive under the one true and loving, all-encompassing world government of Jesus.